Can we learn from past traditions of politics and culture? In some ways, were medieval or ancient ideas more sophisticated than our own? Where did humanity go wrong?
Yes, we can. The person who quoted, "He that doesn't learn from his history will have to live it again," was absolutely right. If we don't learn, then yes, we will have to live it. And I don't think we're any more clever now than we were in the 14th century or the 4th century. What have we actually done in this century? We've taken known things and advanced known things. We've discovered a few more things, but we've become technocrats. The art of philosophy is dying. And it's the philosophists that gave us what we like to label civilization, although that's a very poor handle. All civilization means is the art of living in cities, civitas.
Oh, right.
Yeah? To be a citizen is to be civilized. Now, it isn't civilized living closely piled one on top of each other. It is a way of annoying your neighbour and getting his diseases. We should be spread out. It's less impact on the planet. So no, I don't think we have improved the situation.
Do you think with England or Great Britain in general, though, we need a smaller population to, if we spread out with the way we are with suburbia now, it would be pretty grim.
We're overpopulated to the point where if this island was cut off from food imports, we would last about, according to the season, between 3 and 6 weeks.
Right.
When you build a house on a green field site, the building of that house prevents a family from growing their own food forever. They may live in that house, but the damage done to the soil prevents that family living off of that land, where previously that area it was that. Now we've got to remember that 3/5 of this island are officially designated hill land and cannot grow a good variety of agricultural crops. That leaves 2/5 where all the cities and villages, etc., are spreading out madly, and every one of them is destroying the ability of this island to grow its own food. You can't grow corn on a mountain. So if you build a house in a cornfield, that logically means you'll never grow corn there again. So that's a family you can't feed. Now we're over 70% overpopulated than we can actually feed. If our economy breaks down or a stockade is thrown around this island preventing that, within 3 to 6 weeks we have civil war, or everybody fighting everybody for survival, basic survival. And my 3 to 6 weeks is based on the stores kept by the government, the food stores kept by the government. They fluctuate according to the season, and they have to be turned over because food is perishable. That was the principle behind the butter mountains and things like that. But that is a fact, and that fact is kept away from people because it's likely to panic the poor little benighted. Well, I've never panicked, and I've known this for years. You know, but it's the truth. Destroy land, you can't feed yourself. If you can't feed yourself, you die.
Because we have the prospect of possibly more airports in England at the moment in the news.
Yes, it's only going to add to the problem. The more people you pack into any given space, something has to die. So the wildlife goes first, because the wildwoods wanted for raising cattle. But of course it's cheaper to bring in Argentinian cattle and keep the Argentinians, who we were fighting a couple of years ago, their economy going, because the industrialists have so much money invested in Argentina, they don't want to see their money going down the pan, so they shoot all the British animals. That and other reasons. That cull was political, it was not medical.
The foot and mouth crisis, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very, very disturbing thing for many, I'm sure.
Oh, it was insane. There was one farm up on my lump of mountains, as I call them,
Mm-hmm.
that had
That's which part of the country?
Cumbria, the
Cumbria.
Pennines.
Right.
There was one farm that had 6 suspected cases there. On that excuse, the army destroyed 600,000 head of stock because those animals might have been contaminated by depleted uranium that the army had illegally used on the range that was surrounded by the hills where they culled the animals. And it is highly likely that they introduced the virus in the first place, as the current information that has come out after all the hoo-ha has died down, that it wasn't first found on the pig farm for the farmer who got summoned. It was on an army estate towards Carlisle. That is a fact. And the couple of million animals culled, all were culled densely around military establishments. It has more to do with politics. They said they can't allow animals to be inoculated because we can't allow the virus into the human chain, and yet they brought in Argentinian animals who are all inoculated. The Minister of Agriculture said to the farmers in Penrith, "Don't you understand? We don't want your animals. We can buy all the meat we want more cheaply." Yes, from Argentina, who were the ones giving us all the gyp over the Falklands, remember?